that they can't represent their own people's needs, their own people's basic human rights, and that's what it is. It's in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, actually. It is a human right to have this kind of medical care. It's to take away fear. And all of us have experienced the fear of possible ill health. And I've interviewed so many people in the United States that I see them crippled both by what is medically wrong with them, but by this terrible insecurity that takes over their lives, and the poverty then that consumes it as they try to pay for their medical care. It's primitive.
John Pilger, I want to ask you about Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, how you see, especially in Afghanistan, Pakistan, where President Obama says he's expanding the war, how you see it ending. You have done more than 50 documentaries, many of them about wars around the world. And also the response of the British people, how you see what's happening in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Well, Obama's begun a new war. There is an Obama war, and that's Pakistan. The shaking of the hornet's nest, if you like, in Pakistan, which this administration has done willfully, is an historic disaster. The creation of up to 2 million refugees in the northwest of Pakistan, caused by the attacks by the Pakistani government, egged on and paid for by the Obama administration. The use of electronic battlefield weapons, such as drones and other unmanned vehicles. Drones have killed, according to the Pakistani authorities, American drones launched from, I believe, near Las Vegas, have killed something like 700 civilians since the inauguration of President Obama. So there is a new war. It's a war in Pakistan. I believe there is a new jargon term in Washington called AFPAC, which is well, it's almost beyond commenting on. The Afghanistan war, so-called, is really about building, as Gates has said, Robert Gates, the Defense Secretary, has virtually admitted, is about building a number of secured permanent bases throughout that country and reinforcing the major facility at Bagram. The United States has no intention of getting out of Afghanistan. It is building one of its fortress embassies in Kabul, just as it's building a $1 billion embassy in Islamabad, just as it's built an enormous fortress in Baghdad. Whatever happens to American ground troops, who eventually, yes, will be withdrawn, will make no difference to the significance of the American presence, the violent American presence in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and in Iraq. These are seen as places where the United States will have a permanent presence, to be able to a strategic position, where it'll be able to monitor and perhaps influence and perhaps control the influences of its imperial rivals. Bagram base is being extended. It probably has a worse record, if that's possible, than Guantanamo in terms of its human rights abuses. So what we will see is, as Obama has said, we will see American ground troops gradually withdrawn. But as they're withdrawn, the use of electronic weaponry and bombing and will increase unless there is an understanding of this in this country, unless people stop taking the pronouncements of governments at their word. When Obama went to Annapolis and said, we're getting out of Iraq, and appeared to be giving a timetable, within a matter of weeks, I believe, General Casey, the head of the army, contradicted him and said, oh no, we'll probably be there for another 10 years. And other Pentagon generals put it even higher, 15 years. No mention is made of the enormous American army of mercenaries that who are in all those theaters of war and special forces. No mention is made of the special forces operation inside Iraq, inside Iran. $400 million was allotted to that particular secret war by Bush in one of his signing decrees, which money has gone to both the Kurdish and Baluchi separatist movements. The whole region is being crafted, if you like, for a very, very long American colonial presence, and eventually it will not need a standing army there. That's the future in that part of the world, as I say, unless people become aware of that and start to bang on the doors of government, of Congress, and of power in this country to expose it.
Award-winning filmmaker John Pilger. You can get a copy of the show at democracynow.org. And this late-breaking news, former Defense Secretary Robert McNamara died in his sleep this morning in Washington, D.C. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.